After now watching 2 episodes of So I'm a Spider, So What, I think it's safe to say that we could probably agree that as of right now, this might be Yuuki's most energetic and in-character performance that she's ever done. And this is a voice actress who I think most anime fans can agree is one of, if not the best voice actors of the generation that we're currently experiencing with anime. From Saga of Tanya the Evil with Tanya to the numerous characters that she's hit it out of the park with. I mean, you can go take a look at any of her pages, whether it's My Anime List, Wikipedia, whatever it is, and look at the sheer number of characters that are all quality in their own right. This character, Kumiko, I think is her best one yet, and it really does go to show just how talented she is. When a single spider who currently has interacted with no one talking to her, it's all been insects and serpents in a cave while there was humans in this episode. It was just people with pitchforks and torches ready to burn down her house, which they did so successfully. Yet she's able to deliver a performance that feels so bouncy, so energetic, that it makes you believe in everything that she's saying. When she's talking about her crib, when she's giving you the rundown about here's her TV, doesn't have reception, here's her faucet, doesn't have water, but here's the best part, the amazing bed. You feel like this is someone who really does love this house and she believes that it is pure luxury. So when it burns down and you feel the defeat in her voice, it feels like someone who's been a spider, who woke up from having a pretty shitty introverted life, got bullied, died, came back as a spider, has been fighting for her life, finally is proud of what she's able to accomplish. She can live out her days, feeding on some ghastly ghouls in a cave while she sleeps her days away. Watches it all burn in flames, and her performance just crushes you even though you have no connection to this actual spider's den here. I am just blown away by the vocal performance, and I truly believe anytime Yuki comes out and voices a character in a Japanese dub, it's impossible for any other dubs out there to match her character's performance. She just has a one-of-a-kind voice, and her energy, I think, is second to none in the anime field, and I think that's why I like this show so much. As much as I do like the comedy, as much as I do like the overall idea of an entire class being isekai'd into one series, for the most part, by the looks of it, everyone's been born either human, or if they were born some sort of animal or mythical creature, they're attached to one of their classmates by the looks of it. Besides our, obviously, girl Kumiko, who is a spider fighting for her life. While yes, she is a larger spider, by the looks of it, she looks to be like the size of a dog. But then again, she leveled up, so who knows what that's going to look like. I simply just love the idea of this show, and walking into episode 2, it was my most anticipated episode 2 of the winter 2021 season. I really like this show, and while the mall reviews probably aren't going to make it seem like the most popular show, it does seem like there's quite a bit of buzz around this show, so I'm hoping more and more people will continue to check it out, because I think this is a pretty interesting show that hooks you in with some familiarity in episode 1, but with each passing episode, we're going to get more and more into what makes this show so different and distinct. And yeah, we're still pretty funny, all things considered, but they actually do touch upon some interesting themes, even bullying, which, while it wasn't the craziest of bullying themes that we've ever seen, it does go to show that there is actually the sense of remorse in the character who bullied our central spider girl here, and now is feeling like she's being punished for what she did in her previous life because everyone else is being born as royalty or someone very high up in the kind of human chain where she's just a simple dragon. And she's probably thinking like, oh, you know, I bullied this girl. If this girl isn't here, she's probably queen of this entire world. And it was very interesting seeing that kind of dialogue take place because I know not everyone is a big fan of the human side. I know my friend Ryan wasn't, saying like, you know, I'd much rather prefer just focusing in on the spider side of it, which I believe the manga version completely cut out the human side. Which if you were just wanting to go for a comedy slice of life, you could just focus on the spider. But the fact that we're going to have 24 episodes back to back, you need to have something more than just a girl surviving as a spider in a cave who eventually will leave that cave. You need some human interaction. So by having this episode really flesh out more of the idea of what this human side is going to offer, you can tell there's going to be a more serious plotline on them, and whenever they do eventually cross over, I think they'll provide for some pretty interesting things because by the looks of it, they are looking for their other classmates. So if they do run into her and they do realize that this is Kumiko, what are they going to do? Is by the time they do meet up with her, is she going to be more powerful than any of them? Is she still going to be considered weak in the grand scheme of things? Because she's doing pretty well for herself in this episode. While yes, she's not powerful, she's much better than where she was. She understands that she can use her web. She understands that she has her fangs, and she is leveling up. I mean, she actually evolved in this episode, which I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. I mean, by the looks of the scene after the credits, I wouldn't be surprised if our girl runs into a dragon, which she did have a dragon's egg, so It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But I think there's just so much here that this episode, I would even argue, was slightly more entertaining than the previous one. And the first episode kicked us into a hilarious adventure that was pretty damn frightening. You fight a giant-ass snake in this episode, which honestly, if it wasn't for her amazing speed and cunning intellect, she easily would have ended up as snake food without much struggle. So I like the idea that you do have this bouncing around, and I'm sure as the episodes get going more and more, especially as the human storyline gets going even more, I'm sure we're going to bounce around a lot more, and we're not going to be in this cave forever, but it's crystal clear, even if we didn't have source material readers saying that, this cave is going to be home for us for a while. Like, she is incredibly weak. If she's incredibly weak in the cave that she's born in, how is she going to survive outside of this cave? It's literally impossible. And if it wasn't for her admitting that she is weak, it'd be very easy for the watchers to say, oh, she's actually pretty powerful. She killed a snake, or she's killing these frogs. But she admits in this episode that the only reason that she's been able to do pretty much everything this entire time is because she's been laying traps. When she actually has to go on head on, she pretty much is struggling for her life. I really like the world mechanics and the power system at play, because as she levels up her skills or evolves, she can actually regain her shell, so the bruised eye that she had was completely healed after she was able to defeat a couple more enemies. So that's what's really cool about this, is that you actually feel like this is a character who has to struggle. By the looks of her life, she did nothing to deserve this shitty end of the stick, but the person who ended up bullying gets to be a pet for one of her classmates, and the person who was bullied ended up as a spider fighting for her life, not knowing what's going to happen next. So I'm really excited for more. I think this episode was hilarious. I mean, there were some really funny moments. The funny moments alone are going to make making thumbnails for these reviews all the more fun. It's anytime I get so many goofy faces or just ridiculous shenanigans, it always makes for creating thumbnails incredibly entertaining. But I'm really excited to see where the human storyline is going to go. While last week's episode with the human stuff wasn't anything to write home about, it was more just showing, oh, there is more characters than just her who have been reincarnated. It does says to me, though, with this episode, that it is going to be fairly interesting. The longer we watch, the more we get accustomed to them, especially whenever we do get to see them cross over, which I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that until maybe the second core when they actually do meet up with her. And by that time, I'm going to take care of business now. I'm the one going to be bullying. You never know what could happen, right? But overall, loving Kumiko, loving the voice actor performances. Once again, I'm loving the presentation, love the mixture of 2D and 3D. A little bit of 2D on the spider side, but for the most part, still sticking with that 3D render, but still is reminding me of Beastar, so I love it so much. And the 2D side with the human characters, I'm really liking. I do imagine if we do meet up and have human with the spider, most likely, unless it's a large-scale battle, it will probably mostly be 2D, because there has been some 2D shots with the spider, so it'll be interesting to see how they blend the kind of format going forward, because so far this production I'm really enjoying through and through, and the opening and endings are still completely amazing, and I don't think many people will argue on that front. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think of episode 2? Did this episode hook you in more than episode 1? Or are you kind of falling off this series saying it's not really for you? Whatever you're feeling, of course, let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.